Julfer 9211 coming at you with another live video. This video is in response to a comment or concern slash question on my channel. I had a viewer, you know who you are, that came from Loz's channel, and he was asking about Yami Yugi's build, was a platinum. Just a very quick overview, extremely fast. Basically, when Master Duel started about a month ago, there wasn't that many downloads, so none of the decks were powerful, and everyone was going Platinum 1. I know because I've seen a lot of the builds and they're trash, like more than 50% of the builds are trash. And what I concluded actually came true 100% because everyone got bumped down to Gold 5. There was a few who remained in Platinum and they went to Platinum 5. Those were the players that were okay, they were good, and they hung around there. Me, for myself, I started playing it about a week ago, 7 days ago. The first 2 days, I kind of cheated and went on YouTube and I saw how to craft cards and play the solo mode, but I didn't start playing online after like 2 days after that. So I've been playing it for 7 days or so. And my build, the one that I posted, it's a tier 4 for gold, but for the current format, because I didn't get to play it when everybody else was playing it. I downloaded it late, so I currently updated the deck, and I believe I'm tier gold, tier 3 or 2, one of them. I'm working on going to platinum. I essentially win 2, then lose 1, and then I'll lose 1, win 2. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm going up the ranks. I don't have as much time to play it, but I do get a chance to play it. And here's the profile. I'm making it as an emergency. There's a few cards that I don't have that I'm ordering. The reason why, if you ever come to my channel, I buy and sell cards online, also locally. So I run out of cards. I sell decks. You know, decks usually run 40 cards per deck. Sometimes in a deck you have a playset, meaning 3 cards, so I can run out of them. So sometimes things become popular. Obviously, I do 100% Dark Magician. Sometimes I will do a little bit of something else, but for the most part, I specialize in Dark Magician. So I run out of the cards, and when people ask me to do profiles, I have to reorder some cards. Luckily, some of the cards are cheap, so I reorder some. When I get those cards in, I'm gonna re-upload the video with the cards. So the first cards that we're gonna present, you're gonna need 2 Alistar, Alistair, then Volker. This one represents the second one. I had 2 playsets. They sold, obviously, as it became popular. If you know anything about Master Duel, it was made official about 4 days ago, meaning there's gonna be official world tournaments. Like, you can take physical cards, just like Master Duel, just like TCG or LCG. You're gonna be able to do it for Master Duel as well. So I suggest don't sell your Maxis and all those good cards because they're going up in price. So I wasn't aware of that, so I sold some of the cards, and now I'm seeing people are playing them. So you play 2 of them. Like I said, as soon as I get the cards in the mail, I'm gonna re-upload the video with the actual cards. So this one's substitute for Alistar, and then the polymerization is a substitute for invocation. It's similar because invocation is a polymerization. You use them from your hand and field, but it does have a second effect. It says that when you're trying to fusion summon invoked monster, you get a secondary effect. You can remove monsters from both sides of the graveyard, so your opponents and yours. So we're gonna be using this for invocation for just right now, and then these 2 preparation of rites, the magical meltdowns. I also had several playsets and I sold them. So luckily this deck is hyper cheap. There's a few cards that are not hyper cheap that you're gonna have to spend some money for. But if you follow my channel, I let you know when the cards lower in price, and I let you know the time to buy them before they skyrocket. So magical meltdowns. So here we are. So it is a 40 card deck. We're gonna shuffle it and then do some test hands, and I'll be going over the proper way to play the deck, and why it's picked a lot currently with the format with no Dragoon. And I'm gonna be going over the fusions real quick as well. shuffling. And then a lot of people are complaining because you have thousands of Dark Magician players and no one knows how to go around the hand traps. As soon as they lose to one or two hand traps, they lose. And that tells you that your deck is rogue level. You can't even go through two negations. Like, come on. Um, I mean, if you have a deck that's over $200, which Dark Magician should be even a budget, and you're not even able to go through one or two hand traps, that tells you your deck sucks. And you're not alone. You know, I would say 99.9 that covers every Dark Magician deck. They usually are the same. Everyone's similar. But you won't see content like here. The reason why is because I don't play that format. I play a different format. So I try to go through a lot of negations. So I am power shuffling just to make sure. Okay, so then here we go. We're going to draw first 5. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the cards that you're going to be drawing. So there's the 5. There's the 5 right here. So then you normal summon, and then you draw 2 to your hand. Excuse me. And then you know what that chains off. It's a total of 5 cards dumped, right? So you get that one. And by the time you play it, you're already at 35. Your deck becomes a 35 card deck because that's what it does. One draws the other one draws the other one draws you 2. So 2 plus the 3, you got 5. So there you go. Your deck becomes a 35 card deck. And then it's not over. You're going to draw from the top. So these go to the graveyard. And these are the 2 that you pull out from the top. And then these are what you have in your hand. So obviously you're going to activate Apprentice, discard Dark Magician special. Then you're going to get the Dark Magician to your hand. Then with that, where is it? Then after that, you activate your Soul Servant. And then you're going to stack the circle. Remove it, draw the circle. Excuse me. You know, and usually Spellbook Magician never gets asked or anything because they're more concerned about the rest of the cards that can draw you the right cards instead of just random. So usually the Spellbook engine goes through, especially at locals. Online it happens too a lot. So then you get that. Then he's in your hand, so this is what your hand looks like. And then you're going to go ahead and play circle. You're going to see the top 3 cards of your deck. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to want the Rod next because you don't know what's going to happen. Or get the Upstart Goblin because you could draw it into it and thin the deck, right? So then you stack them up. And then you activate Magician's Right Hand. Sit the card face down. This one's removed because you already drew. You have a Dark Magician in your graveyard. You have one in your hand, so never use the one in your hand, just bring the one on the graveyard. So then they're going to start off. They play Harpy's Feather Duster. They usually forget. It gets burned with the right hand. And they start their floodgate. They summon. When you see something problematic, you just activate and then banish it. They're more likely going to set some spell trap. So then you draw. And then you would activate to draw Rod. Then after that, chain to Eternal, Dark Magic attack. You get it, activate it, blow up their field. So then they're pretty much wiped out. If you don't want to do that, you can use Harpies, which is in your hand. But I always teach people, just save your hand for the later duel and just utilize your field. Because sometimes people burn their hand, and then when their opponent has a hard comeback, they lose. And that's the secret to winning. Don't get greedy. Just control the duel. I shuffled it. You have your fields full. So then what you do after that, you attack. Then an option right here would be you link, then bring whelp up here, and then rod, dark, what's it called? Secrets, dark magic, get it to your hand, activate it, fusion, you already know what we're gonna go into, very simple, and boom, Dragon Knight's out in the field. So this one and Dark Magician from your hand go bye-bye, and this is what you have left. So then after that, you check your graveyard. If you don't have any rods there because you want to trigger the effect, the loop, then you make sure you activate it. Moon Maiden, Link, send Dark Magician, Rod to the graveyard. This, then you have this in your hand, and then you're just on standby. So then your opponent goes, he tries to play anything, nothing's gonna work. Look at the field. His first spell's burned, you can remove a card, you're gonna get Rod back, Dark Magician's coming back, Dragon Knight's on the field, that's pretty much game. Even if they kaiju him, you could just bring him back, banish, and then trigger effect. Rod, now you got these two in your hand. And then you draw. That's gonna be game. There's not even no need to play summon limit. You just keep what you have in your hand. You just keep it there. There's really no need to play it. You just sit back and relax and just harass your opponent. Just destroy them. Special later, and you have a second Dark Magician in graveyard, and then in case you want Apprentice Illusion Magician, you could just link so that you could get it. If she gets lost, it always happens. Selene Queen to bring. You got Naruto. We're going to go over the fusion right now. And then even if they play an Imperial, you just link to Phoenix. So he's going to be done. The deck's able to bring out 3 Dragon Knights like butter. Like, it's really easy. Even though 99% of Dark Magician players tell you it's hard, you need the new support, they're lying to you. They just don't know how to play Dark Magician. And that actually covers about 99% of Dark Magician players. And that includes every single video that you've seen on YouTube. They all tell you the same thing. They're lying to you. You don't need any of the new cards. They just need them because they don't know how to play Dark Magician, and Konami listens to them. But honestly, I can summon just as many monsters with the new cards since 2 years ago. And then I have proof. It's not all talk. Go see it in my videos. I've summoned up to 3 with these 3 Dragon Knight, 3 Dragoon, and one single duel. Not in a match. In a match, I can bring up a total of 6 of them. 6 Dragon Knight, 6 Dragoon. In a single duel. So, and first turn as well. So we're gonna do a second one, and this one's gonna be us going second. Here we go. I'm shuffling. Have to shuffle well. Let's see here. This thing keeps moving around. Okay, so let's say they have 2 trap and 2 monsters of 3,000 of attack, just for as an example. Okay, so then we're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first thing you do uh, Preparation of Rites, and it's actually, if you remember the video, if you think I'm lying, go back to the beginning. I told you it was Magical Meltdown. So you play it, activate it. They play Ash Blossom. You can't draw into it. So they burned it, right? So they burned it. So then right after you play Magician's Salvation, set Eternal Soul face down. You have 3,000 attack hitters and 2 spell and trap in the back row. So every card you play is a bait. If you come to my channel, you should learn that first before you proceed. It's not like all your other videos that tell you every card matters. That's all a lie. A lot of your cards don't matter. You don't know that, so that's why you lose. Most of your cards don't matter. They're all just baits. So he already stopped us, and you just do whatever you want anyways. So you're gonna activate draw invocation to your hand. You know what it does is it's a polymerization or secondary effect. If you get an invoked monster, if you're gonna be using Alistar, you can use graveyards as well, not just the hand in the field like a poly. So the poly is a substitute for it, but it's actually the invocation. Like I said, when I get the card, I'm gonna upload the video with it. It's gonna be the same thing, just the actual cards. Instead, I sell so many cards, I run out of them. A lot of cards are hot. Some of these are inexpensive. So you get it, and then you trigger off the effect. You link Artemis, and then it goes to the graveyard. Then it's a substitute for Dragoon, in case you didn't know. So I'll show you how it works. You play it, and you use the secondary effect, and you banish Alistar and Moon Maiden, and then you can bring an invoked monster. And at this point, we're gonna want Macabre, invoke Macabre. So if you have cards to draw at this point, you draw them because you want to thin out your deck. If you don't have any cards to draw at this point, I would advise you to go ahead and trigger Invoke's effect, and then you return it back to your deck, and then you can get one Alistar back to your hand. So automatically you have an Omni Negate for a monster. If you want one for a spell and trap, you're gonna have to have the spell and trap, because Invoke Macabre says only once per turn, and then depending what they play, if a spell, you have to discard a spell. If they play a trap, you have to discard a trap. If they play a monster, it's a monster, you have to discard, and you can Omni Negate the effect. So it is a replacement for the Dragoon. So then after that, excuse me, what you want to do is, this is what your hand looks like. So then you set the Soul Servant. You set it. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's better to have it in your hand, because you have the Omni Negate of everything right now. You have an Omni Negate for a spell, Omni Negate for a monster, and Omni Negate for the Eternal Soul. If you don't want to do the spell, I would advise you to set it face down, and you're gonna stack the rod. If you want to keep it in your hand, you can. It's totally up to you. So then what you do is, he goes and then he plays anything. Excuse me. You can chain to Eternal and then get Dark Magic Attack. That way you can discard that one for the spell. So you let the first card resolve, and then he's going to obviously excuse me, he's gonna summon a monster, or if he tries to feather you, you discard the Dark Magic Attack or the Soul Servant's really up to you. Or if you don't like the monster, you just discard Dark Magician and negate it. You see, it's like a Dragoon. You do whatever you want. So, um, you get that to your hand. So, he didn't do anything. Monster effect, second one. So then you discard Dark Magician to the graveyard. Um, and then he summons some cards. And let's say he attacks over him and he gets rid of him. So then during his end phase with like a 3000 header, you activate and then you stack rod. I'm sorry, circle. Stack circle. Excuse me. Let's just say that at the end of the turn, he still pops your Eternal Right, so your field's empty. So there we go. Shuffling, stacking. So let's say he pops it. Just to say he pops it, then you get this. Okay, so then the way you start off, you would play Aster, and you already know what happens. You search back. If it were to get negated, it doesn't matter. Just play the circle afterwards. Let's see. Let me try to find the. Well, that's weird. I don't see the polymerization. You get the. Oh my goodness! I don't see the polymerization anywhere. It must have gone. It must have fell or something. Can't find it. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. You get it. You can bring another macabre because we actually play two. Or you can bring the next monster out, which is... You can use monsters for other side of the graveyard. I usually play two Artemis in the fusion. Just in case you don't have another one on his side of the field, you don't want any mistakes. So then you just use the second one, then activate him to the graveyard, and then you'll bring him. You can bring him in defense or attack, it doesn't matter. And he comes out and attack, so he's gonna be 3000 when you discard the card. And then automatically any card, oops, sorry about that, any card that gets special summon while he's on the field gets popped one, and it's only for monsters. And then when he comes out, you get to do it automatically. So then you remove the two, the same sequence. He goes back, and then so does Alistar back to your hand. The same. You just keep doing the same thing again, and you pop the card that got rid of whatever, and then you would play. This one gets sent back to your deck. If you wanted to bring a substitute for Dragoon, you could just bring the other macabre, but at this point we're just bringing the invoked. The other invoked fusion. And then you play circle, draw 1, 2, 3, and you get Dark Magician, and then you would leave Upstart on the top. And then you still have Soul Servant in the graveyard to draw a card if you want. And you have the other Eternal Soul. You set it and forget it. So then during his turn, he special summons. It gets popped. He tries to set a spell or trap. Dark Magician banish. And then at this point you draw. And then you can boost with Alistar, or bring a macabre. You want to bring a macabre, you can. You just play him and bring your second macabre. So basically, it's gonna let you get it. It's gonna let you summon him, get it, and then you're gonna you're gonna need to link at this point, or you don't need to link, or you know what, you can um, you would just bring him. You can attack, and then link, and then activate the polymerization and bring the second Macabre, and he comes out, and then you use the effect again of and he goes back to your hand, and Alistar goes back to your hand, and the Evoke goes back to your deck, and now you have two of them, and you banish the Whelp for the light, and you still have a Dark Mission in your hand, and Eternal's on the field. And you played him, you got him back. Then when you brought the Dark Magician, you could activate Dark Magic Attack, or you could just keep it. You could play the Upstart Goblin now. You draw a card, you draw a rod. So then this one got banished, remember? So then during his turn, any special summon gets popped. Any spell or monster you discard and negate, it's really up to you. And then banish is pretty much done here. You got a Obni negate here. Any special summon gets popped. If there's any problem, you boost. Dark Magician just banished. So he's pretty much done. You draw